Hello everyone. If you know me or you've been at least, following my channel for a while, you know that my interests are global when it comes to different forms of media and pop culture. Really, for me, I've always had an interest in history, and I've always had an interest in film and music and TV shows and everything from a long span of time. And that's continued and grown as I've gotten older. I've really kind of defined my interests both historically and culturally worldwide as far as what I really like to delve into is really from what's called the Gilded Age, post-Civil War, 1870s, 1890s in the U.S., through the early 2000s. That's really like a 130-year period-ish that I really, really enjoy exploring a lot of stuff from around the world. When it comes to France, and as far as music, there are a lot of great individual songs and periods I think are enjoyable, but there are two singers, one a little more modern than the other, who I have just fallen in love with their music over the years. Very, very different, especially because the decades in between, different tones. But there are two that I really, really enjoy, and that's France Gall and Alizee, and I just really like a lot of their music, both of them, especially France Gall, because she has so many different periods through the 60s through the 80s especially. That's like the time frame where like she has really, really cool changing times through her career. So this has a few pieces that I've picked up over a long span of time that I was kind of holding off, kind of figuring out where to put them in, especially because I don't do a whole lot of talking about music on this channel. I do really like music and have some diverse tastes and some things I really, really love and am passionate about. But yeah, just music never seems to fit in as quite as much into a lot of these videos as movies and TV shows and video games, of course, and that kind of stuff. Video games was like the big thing that I started doing stuff on YouTube with. So, but these I thought were really cool and kind of go together. And one of them I talked about a little bit, just kind of hinting there's a bit of a story, just a little bit of a funny story when I was talking about another video, and I guess we'll go ahead and talk about that one first because this is amazing, something that I've wanted for a long time and wasn't quite sure if I was able to grab because it's a bit of an odd one, and it brings up something about modern music, not even super, super modern. It's a lot of times starting 15 years ago, we're beginning of things like YouTube and any sort of like video sharing online with that has bugged me a little bit. But the first thing here, this is Alizee, which is a 2-disc collection from Mexico. I'm going to have to get a different case because the case got a little cracked in the front here and a little bit of crack on the back in transit, but it's held up for a while. Customs took forever, and for Mexico. And before I talk about what this is, a little bit of a funny story. I'm in the U.S., and of course it's very normal to have packages from continental U.S. and Canada coming here. Normally, I very frequently order things from Japan or Hong Kong. That's pretty normal to see. No one bats an eye. I rarely order anything from outside those regions, though. Europe, very, very occasionally, not very often. It's mostly Japan and Hong Kong and Canada. They're really the international ones. And I've never ordered anything ever from Mexico, Central America, or South America. Just haven't. There's just been, there's nothing that I have ever ordered from that. So when a package showed up that was roughly the size and shape of a brick, but fairly lightweight with handwritten address and everything from Mexico, Amanda was like, what in the world is this? Did you order drugs? Is this, it's just not something very atypical. And she's just like, what the heck is this? And this is weird because this is a popular French singer who's popular primarily in Europe, has had some success over here, but nowhere near as much as definitely in Europe and France itself in particular. But yeah, she's had a period of time where she was very successful in Mexico specifically. I would venture to say that she's probably more well known in Mexico than in the U.S. It's very interesting. I don't know about. I'd actually be curious as far as Canada, especially the more French-speaking portion of Canada, how popular she is as a more current artist. I've never really looked into that, but anyway, this is a release of hers that has 15 tracks, a bunch of her best music, especially from some of her earlier albums like Moy Lolita and just a lot of the more common ones. A great compilation. It's good quality CD, so that's really cool. Open it up here, and it is a 2-disc set. This is the back here. Again, I'll have to find another case because I got cracked in transit. This was I ordered a while ago and finally got here, and this is the CD release. And what's really, this is, the versions of this that would be available from all over the place. France, Germany, even Japan has a release all over the place. This is the thing that is unique. The DVD is a 2-disc set. One is the CD, and is a great compilation of her music. This is unique, the DVD, and this is what I was talking about. A lot of modern artists. I love music videos. I'm a very visual person. That's why I love video games. I love movies. I'm a very visual person, so I like music videos. I really enjoy music videos and concerts as much, probably more so than just say putting in a CD or a vinyl record, and I enjoy that experience, but I really appreciate having the visual element added to it. I just really enjoy that, all around presentation, if it's done well, of course. And with more modern artists, more often than not, there's no way to physically get a collection of their music videos or concerts or anything. Very occasionally you'll see something, but it's very rare. Most artists now, it's you go on YouTube and watch them all the time. Maybe you can purchase digitally, download it and those kind of things. But there's not hard copies. I have so many different artists where I have music videos or concerts on Laserdisc or VHS or DVD. Is not as much on Blu-ray. There are some now, but it's more very like something like the Beatles or Queen or very very well-known, popular sort of legacy artists. Those types of things are more getting those releases. Most, artists that today are there's no physical release at all of any of their stuff, and if there is one, it's like maybe one concert. That's it. So for a lot of artists that I like hitting the early 2000s and up, really, there aren't that many chances of finding physical releases, and this is the only way to get a collection of more than like one or two of her videos officially released on DVD. You can obviously buy bootlegs, and there are a few releases that have a little behind the scenes thing with like a music video or something. But this is the only way, this DVD that has a whole bunch of her music videos in one collection is the only way to get it, and is a Mexico only release. So just a bizarre release. Like, it's not something I ever would have expected. I have 3 things to show off in this video, and they're both from these French singers. None of these are from France. It's just interesting thing here. Here's the booklet that goes along with it. A little bit of wear on it, but it's not too bad. Pull this out. This is track list, back, and then on the inside it has a bit of a fold-out poster, 2-sided. So that is a pretty cool collection. This is awesome. I love this. This is my favorite thing that I have of hers so far because of that DVD. It's a great collection of some of my, not all, but some of my favorite songs of hers, and then that DVD. That is just something extra that's fantastic. And again, that's the only official release in the world of that. There's a really good concert release on DVD that's more common to get from Taiwan randomly, and again, some releases that are deluxe releases, things that might have like one music video or two. This is a great collection on DVD of a bunch of music videos of hers, which is fantastic because you don't get a lot of that with modern artists, like an Italian rap and hip hop artist, Baby K, who I occasionally listen to. Feminine Alpha is a great song with her. Cool music videos sometimes, but no release anywhere, and go on and on. Japanese artists from all over the world, where just American artists, just modern music videos you just can't get physical copies of. Moving on to France Gall. This is really cool, and this is my first one of these HM CDs from Japan. They're these high quality material CDs from Japan, and Japan is very tied to physical media still, especially with music, more than most other regions of the world, but really with music. They are, vinyl's making a comeback here in the US, but Japan just has music stores all over the place the way it used to be around here. and they're still really into CDs. Vinyl is, never quite went away as much as it did here. CDs are still very prominent, and now they have started releasing things in these high quality material CDs, which, depending on your sound system and thing, are supposed to sound better than normal CDs, and very high manufacturing quality, so they're cool to get for some things. They tend to be a little more expensive, but this is a France Gall best selection, and it is a compilation of 28 tracks, so it's a really good collection of her stuff, mostly her French music in the 60s. That's most of what's on here. There's a few other things, but a really good collection. I'm really happy to grab this, and especially being my first ever one of these HM CDs. So very curious to check out the difference in quality in this compared to some of the other releases that I have for her, but this is really cool. Very happy to get this because she's had such an interesting and fascinating career, and one of the periods that is my favorite with her is, I feel like I'm definitely in the minority as far as her fans, because the majority of her fans are definitely going to be more French speaking and more on that side, but for me, I really like her period where she was fairly popular in Germany in the 1960s. I really like a lot of her stuff from that time period. I have multiple different CD releases, one from Germany and one from Hong Kong, and one from Japan, from that period of her life. And some of the songs are a little more goofy, poppy stuff, but some are a little better than others. But overall, I love every single one of them. I just really am a huge fan of that period of her career. Really enjoy it. I like all of her music from start to finish. All of the earlier French stuff, some really cool, weird, goofy stuff in the 60s in French compared to some of her earlier things. And then she got a really cool period again in the 80s. I really like Babacar and a lot of cool stuff. But I love the German period, and this is cool because this is from Germany, and this is a vinyl single. And again, I'm not a huge vinyl person, never have been. I have a small collection. I'm much more grew up with cassettes, moved into CDs, and getting more into vinyl because it's kind of come back. But there is a very short list of singles that I would want, and this is cool because this, when it was released, this is still when it was East and West Germany, and this is very rare to find this West German production with the cover intact. This is easy to find individually and easy to find, for like $5, but finding it with the cover intact in really good condition is the hard part. And that's the hard part with a lot of these singles, but there's a whole bunch of these Decca releases of hers from her period in Germany that I really want to grab of these individuals, these singles, and they're really cool. So I was very happy to at least grab one, knock that off the list. And this I actually got at some point last year. It's been quite a while, but I've been kind of sitting because I haven't really had a video where it's like, where does that make sense to put in? And just kind of sitting off to the side. But yeah, this is very fantastic and brilliant condition. So that's what I'm really excited about, is the condition of the cover, because I'm just a big fan of a lot of her music. Again, I love a lot of the French stuff, of course, from her whole career, but it's that one window in time in where she was very popular doing a lot of German language songs that I really enjoy. Most of her career is, of course, French. She actually has a couple in Japanese. They're mostly just her more popular French songs sung and translated into Japanese. It's kind of a weird, quirky thing, but I love that period of time where she did a bunch of German language hits. So yeah, those are the pickups for this video. Again, just very oddball stuff, very out there. If you're not into this type of music, it's both very like niche things and then niche things within those niche tastes. So quirky, I guess, but I am very happy to have these. These are all really cool. That Alizee having a physical copy of music videos from a more modern artist, really cool. My favorite though is definitely getting France Gall, but there's a whole bunch of these that I would really like to check out, like a Computer Number Dry and things like. There's a whole bunch of different ones, and like Alibaba, a bunch of different ones. But this is cool. Very happy to have this.